All right. First 15 minutes, there is no video, but we will be on in 15 minutes. I messed up and didn't press record, so just stick around.
I guess you're recording now. Thank you. Yeah, we could do that.
Thanks, Lowry. All right. Welcome, CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I am Adam Smith. I don't know.
I am Lowry Smith.
I don't know why I did it. Don't worry.
We're cousins.
I don't know why I did
thought
it.
you were mocking me.
No, I fucked it. That was stupid.
All right.
Episode 193.
Yeah.
We're just using the tips lately. We're just using the tips because I think it's another just the tips episode, right? Isn't that what we're doing today?
Yeah. What are we doing?
Just the tips. So
I don't think we specified
what we named it.
We're doing a double cast tonight, so I don't know if we specified which one's
first.
On
okay,
first
Archenemy is first. Archenemy is first. Okay.
All right.
So we're doing Archenemy today.
Discussion.
We're going to talk about basically what when it's proper to become the Archenemy, how to maybe not become the Archenemy, because the hardest thing when you're in a 4-person game is becoming the Archenemy too early when you have no way to not die. Yeah. B. Lowry, is that what you're doing? Pointing to yourself? Your arch, if me and you are in a game, your arch enemy just should say every game that you start, you are arch enemy.
For some reason, I'm not even that good. I can admit to that.
If I'm in a game and you're not there, I'm arch enemies. But people I think they think my face is nicer. Like I'm a sweeter guy is what it is.
I think you should be arch enemy before me when we're in the same game.
That's not what happens though. I think what happens there is you get bitter and you come at me. You come at me, bro, because you're like
all over the place. Just fucking.
Oh, I have to say, play games this last weekend at number 2's. Hey, number 2. I have that button ready actually.
Hey, number 2.
We played at his house for in real life games. Number 2 brought up the pumpkin milking again. Milking.
Yeah, that was a good joke.
Yeah, it was good. Because I think I talked about pumpkin cream. Yeah, because I think I was talking about the boys carved pumpkins. And he's like, is that? Oh no, it's because I was drinking pumpkin beer. That's what it was. And so, do you know? This is gonna sound really weird and out of context or whatever. But that's how this all went too this weekend.
That's how this whole thing happened.
Do you remember what my bottle opener was from college that I still have to this day that has followed me to all my houses? It's very unique and weird.
No.
It's different. It's a weird, different bottle opener.
Like, is it a dick?
No, it's not.
No. Is it?
You'd remember that if it was a dick.
Do you have like a Prince Albert that you're able to just like pop?
It's a food. It looks like a food. Do you remember now?
Oh, the donut.
Yes.
I know the donut. Okay, sorry. Yeah,
the donut. So my new neighbor, Tom, I brought him with to number 2's. Okay. Hey, number 2. And he's learning magic. So this is like the third person that we've been teaching Commander to in the last year and change. Anyways, I've hung out at his place a couple times. I've been teaching him there, and I bring my donut with because I've been drinking the Samuel Adams. This is the longer story.
It is.
But anyways, we're there, and we're around a bunch, like 10 people or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, has anybody else seen Adam's donut?" Anybody else seen Adam's donut hole? And I was like, dude, you're not supposed to tell everybody about that. It's like, just way out of context. It just sounded like he was talking about my butthole. Is all. I was like, that's supposed to be between me and you, Tom.
Relatively new neighbors at this point. Asking about the donut hole,
So anyways, but
it's not chocolate. It's not a chocolate donut hole.
It's not a chocolate starfish. Which is the
donut holes are delicious, by the way, but like as a pastry, not a butt.
Way to clear. As a pastry, just not as a butt.
Not as a butt. Right? I don't know. I've never tried that either.
All right. Let's what are you drinking for trying things? What are you trying with that isn't a donut hole?
I guess I'm
gout
back to
in a can
beer again. Yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Modest Brewing Company. This is Half Believing Time. It's an apricot Cara Orange Cherry Fruited Berliner. It was pretty good. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. It's
You want some more of it? You like it? You love it? Do you want some more of it? You've tried something. I don't know how the rest of the song
I'm on my
goes,
second one and I have a third in the hopper, but I mean, it's good. It's good.
We do have a second podcast. If you guys tune in for next week, it might be a little spicy.
More than likely, I'll be an asshole.
It might, oh, yeah. Damn it. I'm going to get drunk Lowry out here and he's going to pick on me.
Oh, boy.
I am drinking Valkyrie. It has golden honey ale scribbled out, but then it's put in there. Pumpkin. Look at that picture, though.
Yeah, that's a dope pick.
Yeah. So this one's almost gone. I'll probably drink the second one. I have another.
Is that a good one? Do you have
it's actually pretty.
All the pumpkin ones, or are there some?
I dig them. Eh? Well, so this is the second one I've had. So I had the Samuel Adams one from last week or whatever. Okay.
And
so this is the second
ever pumpkin.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. I like that little spice, and that's how I like my coffee creamer with the pumpkin spice. I like this time of year. I'm that guy that likes the crazy pumpkin everything. Pumpkin.
Fucking basic. It's crazy.
So I have like 4 other different kinds, and those will probably be on the next podcast, and be a little bit of sloppy at that point. All right, so I think since we have a double cast, we probably shouldn't dilly-dally too much, right? Dilly-dally? We're not gonna...
You want to get into the tags? Let's
do
the tags.
All right, so where is my tag sheet? It is
everybody's fucking savants have been so tough lately. Like that's taken forever. Let's just
number 2 is like at his house was like, I really loved Staple Versus this week, but damn, you got to shorten up those damn savants. I was like, well, it's because of you fuckers. You guys are giving us hard random cards. And so I have to try to figure out a way to get Lowry to guess this stuff. And it's just, it's tough, man. But the Savant is pulling through. All right. You guys can become a patron like one of our new patrons that we got this week. We have a new patron, and we won't have one next week because it's double cast, like I said. Yeah. But this week we have, okay, I'm going to try to do this. Here we go. Get the kid can't even read button first. All right. Jake Zawicki. I think that's how you'd say it. Zawicki. You going to do it? Kid can't even read? Or we want me to do my stuff first?
It's starting to...
You rub the button. Hang on. Before you do the kid can't even read. Jake Zawicki.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
Welcome, buddy. You made it.
I'm going to just say that you said it right.
All right.
It's fine.
All right, cool.
It's fine. Sorry, Jake.
You can also become a patron like Jake and donate $1 or more to Patreon. That gets you into the Discord, all the chat and some games and all that fun stuff, but just chatting, deck building, whatever, just everything. It's all over the place. We have about 30 channels on there of different things, all sorted.
Quote from somebody on the Discord said, "Welcome to the chillest Discord."
Oh, yes, that was also.
We are the chillest. Yep.
We are so chill. But it's also a Discord where if you become a patron, you can actually kind of maybe save yourself money if you like proxies, because if you're $5 or more, you can get proxies, including if you get to $10 level, the uncommon level, I think this is where it is. We have common, uncommon, rare, and mythic. Yeah, we're so original. We went with like the rarities. It's fucking unique and shit.
Well, we're magic based. I think it works.
Yeah. But the uncommon level,
a lot better than our original like title name and stuff like that, where we would have to
It was. Are you talking about like our podcast title names?
Yeah,
where it was every
where we
description
would come out
of
with titles, and it all had to be.
It was really bad.
Rhyming or just.
Oh yeah, that is. But so uncommon or higher gets you foils potentially. You can choose from that. We have changed the rules on that, where you can pick any proxy from Proxy of the Week if you're on one of those tier levels. Also, if you're $100 or more, we will start to, I promise, it's just timing-wise, I got to get this built, but we'll be doing shout-outs at the beginning of podcasts for YouTube and stuff. So that is the free way to support us. If you go to YouTube, you jump over there, just jump over there, subscribe. That's all you got to do. Watch our videos. That'd be the next nice thing to do. And then the other thing is like them. Like Lowry's Curated MTG. Oh, Lowry's showing some skin tonight. Woohoo!
I was buttoning it up, and I was like, well.
Like, I'll just bring it down. You only get that if you watch the YouTubes, and you only get Curated if you watch the YouTubes. And Curated as of today, what was that? I like this card a lot.
It's going to be Elephant Grass, which is an old Enchantress legacy staple, but it's 1 green enchantment, and black creatures can't attack you, and other creatures have to pay 2 to attack you, and it has cumulative upkeep 1. So it's really cool in those green decks. Very unique for green.
I don't even think I have it in Daryl. Like, I need it in Daryl. Like, it stops all the because the zombies. No, but look at that.
Oh,
they're black.
That's a really good point.
It stops the zombies completely. So it's just like, why is this not in Daryl? Wow. Like, that just makes sense to be in there.
Zombies.
Yeah, and then you get kind of and that deck's meant to have a lot of mana. Like, you're getting a lot of mana in that. You're doing a lot of playing. It's playing instance that if I don't have to kill the zombies, I can go fetch land, mana ramp and all that stuff. So I'm for sure putting that in that deck, but it's just a good way to have a propaganda in green in a way,
Yep.
So that's a fantastic card. All right, so check out those videos. It's Curated MTG. The biggest thing on those is you'll like them. You can also interact with us on there. There's a lot of interaction on those, actually. We can say comments and all that stuff. Kind of, yeah. Kind of, and then a thumbs up. I like that. Another video you guys can check out there is the Proxy Time live videos. I do those on Sundays, typically 7:30. Probably not this week because it is Halloween. I'll be taking the boys trick-or-treating and all that. We'll probably be back. So it depends. We'll see how much candy they're all on and all that stuff.
They do.
Yeah. So
do they allow you to be like? Are you going to take them out past dark?
Yeah.
You don't even have like a real block.
What?
Like you're just up and down.
There's all kids here. So, but the funny thing is,
you go like to five houses, and it's like a
half a mile. Yeah, right. Well, the other part of it is I think all the families that have kids were all like going together as a big group. So it's like, well, you can't really go to those houses because you're with them. So I don't know. Anyways, Proxy Time of the week. Proxy Time live Sundays at 7:30. Last week was part 2 of Stranger Things. So that was actually Will and Mike. And Mike was fantastic. I made the text box look like it was the table. So I angled that crap. That was, I had the thought to do it, and I'm glad it worked out. So check out that video. I'll probably be doing a short on that. Maybe we'll see. And then actually the next week will probably we have one more week of Stranger Things stuff, and then that'll be all done. So, other videos are the podcasts. Like, you can see us there. That is probably the best way to watch us, is on the podcast right there. And then you can also check us out on Twitter, where you can see us post all this stuff, the voting for stuff, cards, switcheroos, beers, everything. That's where we'll do Twitter, and then no one interacts with us.
I love Twitter.
No one interacts with all the stuff we put out, but we put it out there anyways.
No, wait. I mean,
well, people interact.
Ryan W likes liking everything that we put out.
And that makes us feel good.
You.
That is, yes.
Actually, yeah. There's enough out there. We appreciate all that out there.
So we won't be leaving Twitter, even though we said if you did stuff on there, we could go do Insta, but we didn't have any. All right, and then you can direct message us there, or you can shoot us an email at CommanderSmiths, and that is probably the best way. I'm trying to make this go smoothly into this. That is probably the best way to send the Stump the Smith Savants, or direct message me on Discord if you're a part of the Discord. But if you're not, like our first person on Stump the Smith Savant, which is not a patron and is not a part of the Discord, this is just a listener that sent it in. So let's hit this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. I love how you had to wipe your face there. Like, I think every time when I hit that button, you go, all right.
It's my time to
it's game time.
Get in the
mode. All right. Yeah. If you don't know how this game works, I am going to read the flavor text of a card. Lowry is going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, he will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong.
He will only have 5 no wrong guesses, I should say. He will get up to 3 clues. And what else? Oh, the cards have to be in over 5,000 EDH rec decks. And if you stump Lowry, at this moment, we are still on, I think this is 3rd week at this point. So this is the prize. It is the Teferi from Midnight Hunt. Full art version there. Art. Yep, alt art, full art right there. So that is on the line. And this week, our, like I said, non-patron, this is only the second time this has happened with this bit, but our non-patron is Mark Thompson. And this is the flavor text of this card. All right. Its wide-reaching roots draw more than water. Its wide-reaching roots draw more than water.
Okay, so more than likely this is a plant of some type. I want to say like a tree, but for some reason it totally wants me to say like carpet of flowers.
It's wide reaching. Is Adam making any of it?
No reaction.
I'll just pull my hat down. Can't see my face. Its wide reaching roots draw more than water.
So normally I ask for a clue at this point, but like this super feels green to me. So is this card green?
Hello, boobies.
All right, so we know it's green.
Wow. A guess before even getting a clue. I think that's a first.
It's for a while since we started giving away shit. It also doesn't seem like a creature. It's probably an enchantment.
Larry, can I pause you for a second?
What?
Can I tell you one thing I didn't do?
What?
You ready?
No!
That's all right. We're going to keep going. The first part of this podcast is we're going to do a little bit that we're going to say the first 15 minutes of the podcast, you will not see our faces because Adam forgot to hit recording in progress, and then we will continue. So that's where we are in the
I had a lot of good bits there.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
fine.
I said a lot of things and we pointed at things and I showed this card that you can win and all this.
It's not for the YouTubes anymore.
15 minutes. You don't get it, guys. I just realized it when I was looking at the recording. I'm like, oh, shit. All right. Anyways, go ahead. So what were you saying?
It's probably an enchantment, but I will hear a clue first, please.
Okay. The art or the picture of this card features eyes and a tree. Or multiple trees. But really, it's specifically one.
So that makes me feel like it's a tree folk? More than likely. I mean, it's not going to be redwood tree folk or anything. Let's see here. So maybe it went back over to a creature? You know, I was saying, I still don't think it's... I still don't think it's a sorcery or instant at this point. We definitely know that it's green. Okay, asking a question. Is this a permanent card?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so it is either a creature or enchantment. Second clue.
The main feature of this card is better with the more colors you play. I should say, not that you play, but are in play. That's how I should have worded it. The main feature of this card is better with more colors in play. There we go. That's worded better. Can't believe we went 15 minutes without fucking recording video. Damn it!
Where was quality control on that? Okay, so this gets better with the more colors that we have in play. That is a good one. Can I hear the flavor text again?
Its wide-reaching roots draw more than water.
More than water. water. And then, so it's more than likely it's a green tree folk that gets better with the more colors you have in play, and definitely feels like more of a creature at this point rather than an enchantment. Let's try and narrow this down a little bit. Is this a creature card?
Hello, boobies.
All right.
All right guesses so far.
So like the next leap that I just want to say, is it a tree folk card? Okay, yeah, I'll ask that. Is this creature type a tree folk?
Hello, boobies.
All right. So it's a green tree folk that gets better with the more colors you have. I'll take that third clue.
This card is in 25,000 EDH rec decks and has only seen one printing that comes most recently from Throne of Eldraine.
Can you repeat that?
This is in 25,000 EDH rec decks, has only one printing, which comes from Throne of Eldraine.
No, okay. I was gonna say Nyx Boom Ancient for a second there, but that's an elemental and not on Throne, not in Throne.
So, clues again. Picture features eyes on a tree, or eyes and a tree. The main feature of this card is it gets better with the more colors you have in play. And then is in 25,000 EDH rec decks and has only seen one printing that comes from Throne of Eldraine. You have guessed it is a green card. It is a tree folk. It's obviously a permanent because you got it's a tree folk. And that is where we are at.
25,000 decks?
25,000 coming from Throne of Eldraine.
Jesus. It should just be like super obvious now. 25,000 decks?
Yes.
In like 2-year span?
Yeah, it's a lot. So
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a staple. So what?
I'm going to open up one of my beers here. Night Owl Pumpkin Ale is my next beer. Who? That was a good one, Larry. And speaking of, since I talked about the donut before, the donut.
Yeah.
But I didn't have video at the time I talked about it before.
Goodness. So. It's a tree folk?
All right, let's see how this one tastes. Night Owl. Ooh. That one's really pumpkin-y. It's like a pumpkin pie. I don't like pie.
I like pumpkin
but I like
pie.
that. It's pretty good. All right, so its wide-reaching roots draw more than water. It's from Throne of Eldraine in 25,000 EDH rec decks, only printed there. We have it as a tree folk. We have it as a green card. It gets better with more colors on the the main feature of this card is it's better with more colors on the battlefield. And then the picture features a tree folk, or shit. Well, you already said it's a tree folk. The picture features eyes on a tree.
It gets better with the more colors that you have out. Throne of Eldraine? I cannot think of a single tree folk from Throne of Eldraine.
You're gonna kick yourself when you don't. If
I'm kicking myself right now.
Yeah, because it's 25,000 EDH rec decks.
I don't. And there isn't much more I can guess. You know. Holy moly. It's silly. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one.
You're doing your prep, your pre-prep, putting your hands over your face, trying to think. All right, let me try it all again. 25,000 EDH rec decks. Has only seen one printing. Comes from Throne of Eldraine. Its wide-reaching roots draw more than water. The main feature of this card is better with the more colors that you have on the battlefield or mat in play. And the picture features trees and eyes. A pair of eyes.
25,000. Okay, so let's start. Is this card a mythic?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
There's strike one.
There's a lot more rares to pick from. And more than likely it's a rare, but it definitely could be an uncommon. So is this card...
You're trying to decide which one to pick.
I doubt it's a common. It's better with multiple colors in play that you control.
To be honest with you, I'm so surprised that doesn't give it away.
Yeah.
That's the part where I'm like, what? I think almost my clue of it being an Eldraine is what's throwing you off. Because now you're like trying to specifically think of what was in that set.
No, I mean, like, I knew Tree Folk. I don't know what would help with multiple colors. That's the one that's like, that's not helping me, but I know it's key. If that makes sense. Yeah.
That's the thing. Some things is you get caught up on like, I don't want to walk you through because I think if I started walking you through a little bit, but think things are getting you hung up on certain things, or is it just think of it in a broad sense?
In the text, does this reference each color? So like green, black, red, blue, white?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Okay. So more than likely, it's going to get like a +1/+1 per, but that's not good enough to be put in 25,000 decks. I'm sorry, number 2. This is going long.
I was actually, the funny thing is, as you're doing that, I was thinking, I'm like, I could cut out the parts where you're just thinking, there's a lot that I could actually cut out where you're just sitting there thinking and make it shorter. But then the reason why I don't do that is because I want to show legitimately, like, there's no, like, things we're cutting out, unless there's a problem. Behind the curtains.
Wowzers. Why can't I think of this? What's the bonus? What's the better? Tarmogoyf. Throne of Eldraine, 25,000 decks. That's also like, it should just like pop. That's so many decks.
I think the thing is because it's so recent, you don't realize that it's in that many decks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Does the better give it a power toughness adjustment?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so it's power toughness boosting. I can't believe that would put it into 25,000 fucking decks. That's insane. It's not like utility, but maybe it's doing something else.
It's wide-reaching roots draw more than water. See, it's funny because like you keep reading the flavor text, it isn't going to help you because you already know it's a tree folk. That was kind of the the hint.
Okay, is its converted mana cost 6 or more?
Wrong, wrong, wrong,
You know
wrong.
what's cheap? That's 3 wrong, right?
Yep, 3.
Okay. Let's try and get part of the name in there. Is Tree Folk in the name of the card?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Lowry, one more.
So
One
it's a
more.
Tree Folk that doesn't have the name Tree Folk in it. So I might not even remember that it's a Tree Folk.
I know. That's what I'm concluding. Once I gave clue 2, I was like, that might not realize, because that's why I was saying that I think the Tree Folk is hanging you up.
No. I got it. Holy shit.
You just got to get the name if you got it. If you get the wrong name.
Yeah, I'm down to. So it's colorless green, white, and star for as many colors as you control, and it taps. It has vigilance taps for as much mana as you control. Holy shit. Okay. That doesn't help that I'm like right here.
How did that, I'm just curious. How did that all of a sudden click into your head? It sucks that you're on 4 right now.
I don't know. It just trying to picture Tree Folk and couldn't think of anything. And then it just kind of popped into my head. And I was like, oh no, I love this card.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we've spec'd on this card. I think this is in our top 10 also.
Holy moly. Yeah, this is definitely a big spec card for us. I have it in Rian. I have it in a bunch of cards, or a bunch of decks. My dog
Here you
got
have a
all
Taka
excited.
tap dancer
Yeah,
out there because
yeah.
you got all
our
you got
carpet is-
excited and he got
bugs are
excited.
up. Yeah.
He's like, Lowry's getting it. He's getting close, but he can't get the name. It'd be crazy if you can't get the name. Although we had said in the beginning, if you get everything else, the name is not coming there. I don't know what we do with that. We might have to adjust that. Oh no.
Yeah, no, I still have nothing for a name. I'm not.
Tree
even
Folk is
pulling up-
not in the name. You got. I mean, you didn't ask the questions. I'm
I
not
know
going
what
to
it is.
confirm.
I have the entire card in my head, except for the name. And
What card is it like? I was thinking about doing this clue.
Bloom Tender. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't do that because I was like, that'll give it. I was actually going to say something like, does a similar thing to a very popular card. Yeah, that wouldn't have
That'd be a
worked.
shit one.
Yeah. It wasn't going to be exactly that. I was going to word it a little better than that, but that was my. I try to give it art a picture or give you an idea of what the picture is about, what the text is about, and then where it's from. Those are my typical three.
I mean, God, this is a good one. Why can't I think of?
Yeah, we'll have to figure out because you got to come up with the name. So I'm curious because when we did this when we weren't giving out prizes, we had said if you got everything but the name, I'd give you the initial stuff, but I can't give you that clue.
We don't.
What you know? What moving forward after this is kind of like an on-air production meeting. If you can name everything that the card does, casting costs, power toughness, what it does, then you can get the initial clue if you can't get the name. How does that sound? You're not going to get it here.
Yeah,
but
we didn't have that free.
Right. But that's how we move it going forward because we had kind of had that rule when it was freebie, when we were just doing it for fun. So I think that's what we'll do from moving forward is that, and I'll make sure to mention that. If you get everything, casting cost, creature, what it does, and power toughness, I can give you the initials. I shouldn't say power toughness because it could be an enchantment or something. So just casting cost.
If I can just explain the card.
Right. Then you get the initials.
Yeah. Jeez. I think I'm okay just saying that I can't
get it.
I can't conjure it in my head. I'm okay saying that.
All right. So Mark, you win, buddy. Now here, I'm going to give you the initials. This might help. F-E.
Damn it. Fayborough Elder.
Yeah. Oh, that was a tough one, dude.
Oh, darn it. Yeah, good job. Nice job, Mark.
Yeah. So okay, so moving forward, because couldn't figure out how to do this, because you have done this before where you get everything that the card does, you just can't pull the name like just now, giving you the initials that should have been a win for you. From now on, if you can name the casting cost, what type of card it is, and what it does, then I will give you the initials. So that's a freebie clue that just comes in because you know what the card is, you just can't think of the name.
Yeah.
So that's moving forward. But in this case, Mark, you win the Teferi. We are going to have to think of a new prize for next week, which is going to be actually tonight. For Jake is going to be our next one that's trying to stump you. Jacuzzi is going to try to stump you. So we start all over again. We suck again.
Nice job.
That was tough, though. I'm impressed that all of a sudden it came to you when it did, but I was thinking the adding how many colors you had helped. What was going to get you to? I thought that's what was going to get you to get it, instead of me saying the sets. But in turn, the tree folk thing kind of threw you off, right? I mean, or in the decks, like what kind of threw you off?
I think thinking that it was just green and not multicolored. I think that was part of it. I think it like that middle one was a really good clue, and it just wasn't coming to me. And then the last one, like, it helped. It was a good one, but for some reason, it just wasn't coming to me. Like Throne of Eldraine, Tree Folk. Like, Tree Folk generally kind of come in a grove, and that's just like a one-off. And being, like, with the name Fayborough, I think that, because Fey is like fairies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I wasn't even anywhere near that in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's referencing fairies, but it's a tree folk. It was multicolored when I only guessed the one. I think there was a lot of nice, tricky things right there that didn't come through in my head.
Well, I'm impressed that you finally got to there. Just couldn't get the name. As soon as you got the initials, boom, you got it. So So moving forward, that'll work out nice, because I think I was trying to figure out, because there's got to be a way that you know the card, you just can't come up with the name, and I think that'll help with that. And it still may stump you, but at that point, you almost kind of get the win because you knew what it was at that point. Sure. But that's not what we had beforehand, so that is not what we're doing. So, all right. So you also can submit your stumps. If you're a part of the Discord, you can direct message me, or you can shoot us an email. Lowry does not check the emails unless I'm like, hey, Lowry, check the email. So you can shoot me an email if you're not a part of the Discord. So that is how you're going to submit stuff. We'll have a new prize starting next week. So Jake will be the one that tries to get that. And now we move on to this.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
You know what's funny is we started that, 15 minutes? So it was almost a...
That was a while.
It was a good half
hour. You might have to cut out some of that stuff then. Yeah. Especially since I didn't get it.
Right. That one I'm probably going to cut up a little bit so I can cut out the blanks, but cut out the blanks. All right. So what are we talking about today? What is the topic for Just the Tips today?
Just be fucking aggressive. Don't care what you play. Just play good cards.
And you will lose every game.
That is my...
That is your motto. So, have you ever been always the target? Have you always died first? Well, here's some tips for you.
Who's setting this segment up? We never do that. Not like that.
Oh, it's Jeff Foxworthy. That was my Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck if... You might be the arch enemy if you always play your Crater Hoof and blah, 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 blah. Cyclonic Rift on turn 6 before there's even actually a threat on the table. All right, so
if you're wasting resources, you're a redneck, I guess.
You might be the arch enemy. All right,
yeah.
so
yeah, that could be true.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we're just gonna kind of go through some like tips, I guess, of maybe when you should become the arch enemy and when not to do it. This is just kind of, we don't really have like a format for it, just kind of open discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I almost always am the arch enemy. And
I think what it is, Larry, is people know that you won't get mad when they attack you. So
most of the time, no.
It's attack a Smith is the problem with ours.
No. It's so part of it is for me and self-fulfilling prophecies and all that stuff. Like I get targeted with the random stuff when there isn't any threat, which in turn makes me feel like I need to just play really powerful cards, which makes people target me more, which means that I need to play more powerful stuff and then like it always makes me the scary person until I run out of resources, which also makes it so like I want to be able to ramp and draw a ton of cards. And if I'm not drawing a ton of cards, then I'm just going to run out of resources. And so, but at that same time, like everything that I'm doing is making me an arch enemy before I'm even the arch enemy, which makes it really tough to win a game.
Basically what you personally have to do, and this might fit for a lot of people in play groups, like if you're the target off the bat, is the games that you win, you kind of take control right away. You get ahead of everybody. Yeah, I wouldn't say take control. You're just ahead of everybody right away. Yeah. And that's a lot of how your deck building is a lot of, we've talked about it before, a lot of ramp really early. You're always probably at least double, if not triple, by the time we get to mid game lands.
That is an
by the time we get to turn 2, you're at least about 7 land.
No. But I generally, I do have probably 2 to 3 mana that I can put into my pool more than you guys, generally.
What I'm kind of realizing as we're doing this talk is this is more of a discussion of how to not be like Lowry and get killed. No, just kidding. No, because here's the thing though. No, this is actually like legitimately like you're good at ramp, which can be seen as a bad thing if you're ramping too hard.
Yeah,
you're also really good.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're also really good at assessing when a player is starting to do their thing. Yeah. And so you remove that thing before the thing actually starts, the wheels start actually happening. So what ends up happening is that player gets pissed. Yes. So immediately you become the target for that one player. And then you have the rest of the board dealing with, is Lara really the more powerful one? Yeah, he neutralized that person now, but now he has so much more land, blah, blah, blah. So, but the thing is you have to do it that way. And you're really good at doing the spot removal. This is turning into a...
Oh, good for you.
Segment for Lowry.
It's not. Okay, so like I have seen conversations. I want to say I've seen Dana Roach discuss this on Twitter a little bit, and this is maybe a year or two ago, but it's about powering down the decks and making it a conscious choice.
Yes.
And you have to get the shit beat out of you for a while
to realize that
for people to realize like, you know what, Lowry's not that good, or just like his decks aren't there anymore, or there's like some type of balance.
We have done that by removing the tutors, but that's kind of our play group play. And it is interesting when we go to other play groups, removing those tutors, removing those infinite combos. Infinite combos you just remove because it's just like a bleh, like you're building.
It's
It's like
for us, and that's fine.
It's just an orgasm, and then it just all of a sudden ends. Like, it's just like, well, that wasn't exciting. It's just all of a sudden over. But we've removed those from our place, but that doesn't mean everybody else does. So it's interesting when we get into other play groups and you're like, oh shit, okay, these are in play, and it just makes them that much more powerful. I wouldn't say tuning down, because I don't think you purposely tune down your deck, but I think it's more of knowing when to play things. Like, you may have the optimal play of going turn 1 into Soul Ring, into Sensei's Top, into this and this and that. You do that, you are the target from the beginning, right there. Yep. But if you wait a turn or two, maybe play turn 1 Sensei's Top, and then let everybody else go around, and then you're like, okay, now Soul Ring on turn 3 or something. Like, knowing, even though holding back doesn't seem very optimal, it is in the long run to not become the target. Because when you're going against 3 players early mid game ish, you're going to get your ass kicked most of the time. Like, you're going to get brought down and you're going to get your legs cut off is what happens. And
I think the big thing there too is it's when you're the beginning arch enemy at the beginning, I do think you have to power down the deck and get the shit beat out of you for a while before you can bring it back up.
That just doesn't sound like fun. Like,
it
it's
doesn't
like
sound. Yeah, no, it doesn't. So that's why I kind of
just get your shit beat. Then just always go mana screwed, mana screwed, mana screwed. You know, like
you can just play different cards, and it's. But I think what you do a really good job of is making sure you're not doing Soul Ring turn 1, generally, or Mana Crypt. Like,
I will do it.
But
I will do it.
But it's the idea that you don't have to and don't want to at certain times. And that's kind of maybe more of what we want to actually talk about is when you're building, would you hold on to a turn 1 Birds of Paradise versus a Soul Ring? Like, or are you...
But Birds of Paradise wouldn't seem as threatening. Soul Ring's a little different. I typically would try to play, like, I mean, there's so many mono rocks out there now, and it seems like because of our mulligan rule too, it makes it a little easier for people to hit that. Not mulligan, our starting hand rule, where we did we've been playing that, 8, 9, 10, 10 or whatever, or 8, 9, 9, 10 for draw wise.
We started that like 2 years ago around the Run-of-Mill Drain.
I was playing it around, playing at number 2's house. And it just works out to be even the playing field. But so there's a lot more turn 1 Soul Rings that I see. So that's not necessarily the case. I guess more of where I'm talking is like when you're in that turn 4, between turn 4 and turn 7 or turn 8, of not playing that card that is going to turn all 3 of them to, like, you're trying to win the game there. You're trying to win the game there. You better be damn sure that you have answers to what's about to happen to you, because you have 3 other players that have a hand as well, and what they're going to do is try to knock you down. They're going to try to neutralize you, if not just completely end your game. So a lot of times what I do in those cases is I'm like, okay, we're at turn 4. I assess what's going on with the battlefield. There's a lot going on. Like, I would say the first game at number 2's house, I had to get creatures out because I was just being attacked, because it was just kill a smith, That's what it is. But in where everybody else is building game, I go more for, okay, I'm going to keep building up. I'm not going to play the thing that's going to make me the target that looks like, oh, he's starting to make his combo happen, his pieces. So I'm going to ramp a little bit more. I'm going to take that little damage I get from this one player, because they're the only one that has creatures out, and just keep ramping a little bit. So you start building to optimize your mid to late game plays. My thought here is like, when do you come out of becoming the archenemy? At what point do you go, okay, now it's time to take that step, And
for me,
and that's where I kind of wanted to pick your brain. Yeah, I know. This is going to say.
No, I mean, I think there is, because there's always those decisions. It depends on what's on your hand. So like, think about this. Let's go back to July, last time I played with you guys, and I played Essex. And I had all of you guys sacrificing your lands and creatures by turn. I think it was turn 4 or 5. Like the game was over.
It was game over.
You're all salty still, and that's fine. But like, why did I do that? Like,
because you had the win on table and you had us locked down. Like there's nothing we could do about it.
But there were turns where I had to set it up. Right. And with you guys now seeing Essex play, you're probably going to spot removal Essex as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. Secondly, like there was the point where I had to make the decision. So, and I had Nev, the green-blue legend that doubled the amount of tokens that came into play. So I played that, or I could have played Rashadan Footpad, which is the one that made you all sacrifice this stuff. Mm-hmm. I could have played that a turn earlier into the tokens, which would have made you guys just do like 4 instead of 8 because of the doubling of tokens. And so I had to set that up going like, okay, I haven't shown a lot of tokens so far. I don't have any real protection. Normally I like to have protection, but I'm not going to sit around and wait for protection either.
Yeah.
But if I have protection in hand, I do want to set that up before I start playing the really important pieces,
your
like
main
Essex
pieces, yep.
or the token doublers. Maybe you have it in hand and maybe you need to wait a turn or two for that, like a heroic intervention or whatever as well.
That's a really good point there. Let me just pause you on that because that's an excellent point, because that's something that I sometimes had trouble with. And in recent years, I tend to go that route where, hey, I could get this happening, like get my commander out, get the piece out, but I have no protection. I have this protection in my hand. I have 2 mana that I just need 2 more mana. I need 2 more turns, but I just want to get this out as quick as possible. Yeah. But the thing is waiting those 2 extra turns, you build up and then you get it out, and then somebody's like, kill spell. And you're like, nope, actually, like you said, heroic intervention. You're set,
heroic erection. Yeah, baby. No, I agree, but I think again, it's game state. Like, do you have it in hand? Do you want to bluff it? I generally don't try and bluff it because it's a lightning rod. It's going to happen. If that's what's going to make your deck hum, and I don't have the protection for it, it's one of those like, do you have Cyclonic Rift or not? Does somebody have the removal, or am I just literally going to
say that? I was going to say, if I have 7 mana open and I'm a blue player and I'm playing with Lowry, I tap it just to make sure that Lowry doesn't just attack me because he thinks I have Cyclonic Rift. No, I don't actually do that. But if you see that, you just assume that person has Cyclonic Rift.
Yep. And so like what you want to do, or see if you can recover from it, removal as much, you can bait that as much as you can, counter spells and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I'm going to shoot my shot and try and force the game to move forward. I'm not somebody that sits back. And so I definitely am perceived as somebody that can be really aggressive. I attack people at the beginning of games. Like, if you're open, I'm going to get you. Yeah. And that also makes you an arch enemy, even though you're not. There's plenty of people that are like, you hit me for 1 life at the beginning of the game, I'm gonna get you, and you're like, well, that was a bad play. That happens.
Yeah. But you should be attacking. But yes, I think I will sit back more times than you would sit back on some things. I'm just like, because you'll leave yourself open to get an attack in because you're like, well, they're open. But then what happens is then the other players are like, well, Lowry's open and he's a Smith, so we got to kill him. So
it
get
does
Lowry.
Happen. That definitely happens, but it does. There are if people aren't being aggressive, they also don't necessarily want to open themselves up for anything. Mm-hmm. They can still go like, okay, whoever Lowry attacked is open. Lowry is now open. But do I want Lowry's thing to come at me or the next player that didn't do anything? Like they're sitting back. So you're still open for the crackback even. And so if that forces somebody to be aggressive towards me, I'm fine with it game state wise because it's moving the game forward. I'm also fine with that. Like, if I can move the game forward, I'm happy. If there's a stalled game, I'm not enjoying that. I don't enjoy going like draw, land, go, and then everybody doing that. Like I don't, that's not enjoyable for me personally. So I'm going to force game states that I enjoy where I like to make people squirm. I like people, it is a little kind of like when somebody's like, oh shit, look what Lowry just did. Like, that's like, oh yeah.
I did some shit.
Yeah, I did something. Somebody stood up when Lowry did something. Like, I hate those games where I don't do anything and still win. That's not fun for me. You know, even if I win.
That is the, how many times has that happened? The neutralized one that's screwed over in the beginning, mana flooded, mana screwed, and they end up winning because everybody just feels bad for that person. We've talked about that before. One thing I do want to mention is that how you're talking about playing things, a lot of, and that's also styles, I guess, because mine is, we've talked about that before, is my style of play is like, it's building up. I got this piece going on and then this piece going on. And once this goes and then boom, it all happens and then game over, win right there. A lot of times how I do that when I play is I play the least threatening piece first. I make the least obvious, but there is a plan. And what a lot of times happens is I get this fucking huge, nice plan where it's my next turn. I'm going to win the game. And then the whole board gets blown up. Not even realizing it's not because my stuff's out there. But the thing that happens with that is that I do not become the target that I was about to go off on something. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had the pieces and people can see it and then they blew up the board, they still know I'm the threat. So I always play the least threatening pieces out first. And I put the game winner that's obvious. Oh, yep, that's the game winner there. That comes in last. And normally that's just the different play styles of how we do this too, is that normally that's how I do things. It's what is it when you're building it all on top of each other? Like it's a cog. Is that what I'm looking for?
Yeah, that works.
Something like that.
So
something like that.
One thing, and that's different play styles between me and you as well, is not saying that you don't do anything when you're doing that. It just doesn't affect the board as much. And so if it does get blown up, you're kind of like, well, I just wasted a lot of resources with not doing as much as I would have liked to do. And so to whereas like, I know that I'm getting blown up. So I'm going to go like powerful piece, do some cool stuff. Maybe not as powerful as it could be, but I'm moving the game state forward. And then boom, my thing is gone because I'm already expecting my stuff to go away anyway.
See, and I guess that's where it's a little different too, is that I'm holding the most powerful piece. And so when everything blows up, I'm like, okay, time to keep building to get to this piece again. You know, I have the piece still in my hand. Okay. So.
And that makes sense, right? For both of us, what we're doing. And the other thing, like how I like to deck build is I do like to play in the graveyard a bit too. Again,
yes, you're very good at using the graveyard.
Yeah, knowing that I'm going to have my stuff blown up to a certain degree. And so if I can't interact with my graveyard to get pieces back, then I'm in trouble as well. And so having something that allows me to go into the graveyard allows me to be a bit more aggressive with my more powerful pieces.
Okay, so we got all that out. Now, let's just talk about kind of what I hinted at before. When do you flip the switch? Yours, it sounds like your switch is flipped as soon as turn one starts.
Fairly quick. I do want to, because that's what happened with Essex. Even though I waited a little bit, I knew if it got back to me after I played out the Nev, like the token doubler, if it got back to me, I was like, I'm winning. And there wasn't anything you guys could do about it. And if I didn't do it then, I could maybe do it, like looking at how people's lands are tapped. And again, if there's nothing you can do about it, just force it.
Yeah.
Again, that's in my opinion. So, and then there are other times where like, if I don't have shit, I do sit back, but I'm still playing the most powerful piece. Yeah. But like, I just know that what I have in my hand just isn't going to work together and it's not going to be good. And if I don't get there, I'm just going to get crushed.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We just have, it's cool. Like, that's what I like about Commander with stuff is like, we just have different play styles with it. Cause it's like, I am a sit back and just build and I don't blow my load. I just kind of sit there, start just building. It all gets destroyed, whatever, trying to defend myself. But a lot of it is if you're not there, then I don't have my other buffer of somebody, a Smith taking heat. So I have to get, that's a different thing with us is we have to build so that we have a little bit more of a defense in there that at least making it hindering to attack us.
Yeah.
I guess when I flip the switch, one thing I'd like to give a tip on is that if you have a possibility of taking out a player, take out the one that is the most threatening to you. Not necessarily the one that's the strongest, because the strongest one that's on the battlefield, when I assess threats, it's how many cards they have in their hand and the battlefield. Because if they have a lot of cards in their hand and only a couple things on the battlefield, that's my threat because they have the most things that they can do. Unless the battlefield of somebody just can kill me in that one turn. So when you flip that switch and you become the archenemy, try to take out somebody if you can. If you're not knocking the whole table down and killing everybody at once, try to at least get rid of one of those threats, because once they all three turn towards you and go, fuck that guy, it's harder to handle three of them. If you have two decks you're dealing with, it's obvious. I mean, it's just numbers.
Yeah.
So that's normally...
I do the opposite on that too, knowing that it's not the right play, but I try and keep people even so that...
I do the same, but that's not when I'm turning into the threat. Like
I kind of just do it.
That kind of is why
Unless
it's completely open discussion here.
If I can totally take out the table in 2 turns, then sure.
Yeah.
But if I'm just going like, okay, I could really hurt this person and or kill them and leave these other 2 people at 20 plus life, or I could take the whole table down to 15, I'm going to take the choice to go 15 for everybody.
Which pisses off the whole table, but that's what I also do as well.
Yeah. But it creates some really fun gain states in my opinion.
That's one thing that we've talked about before is I don't like taking out, especially early on in the game, if it's under an hour already, I don't want to take out a player because I don't want them to sit there for freaking 3 hours unless it looks like the game's about to end. So I do this similar thing where it's even, where I'm like, okay, what's your life at? What's your life at? Oh, who looks more powerful? You're going to take that damage. You're going to do that. But when it comes to like, you're now the target for all 3. At that point, I'm like, I'm trying to end the game. I'm removing players from the game. If I can continue doing what I'm doing, we need to get rid of players because when in doubt, take out a player.
Did you mean to rhyme?
No. Did I rhyme
When
there?
in doubt, take them out.
Oh, I was like, that didn't rhyme at all. When in doubt, hey, that's a good one. When in doubt, take them out. No, but if you can, you take out a player because that's just one less person you're dealing with, one less deck. That's just, but I don't like to do it early. Like you said, normally how we do things is even it out, which might not be the nicest thing, but that actually might be smart early on because you're doing little bits by little bits. You're giving that it's almost like that dice roll where you're like, I'm not attacking you. I'm rolling the dice. I'm even in odds. It's you or him. I'm not doing it. I didn't.
I do.
But,
okay, so there's 2 things that I do want to address as well in this thinking is I don't know if you do this, but me, I despise the idea of playing cards that people don't want to remove. Have you heard this at all in deck?
No.
So they're going like, I'll sit down and I'll offer up like, hey, I like this card. You could put this here. And then they go, oh, this is something that they won't remove right away. It's just like, I don't like if it works in the deck, it works in the deck. Don't worry about your stuff getting blown up because your shit's going to get blown up.
For sure.
And sometimes you're going to just have to play more powerful cards, but play it because you like it, not because you're worried about it getting blown up.
Everything's going to get everything gets blown up.
Thinking that, oh, this isn't good enough to eat removal frustrates me.
Oh, I see. It's almost like down powering your deck in a way because you're not playing the best card that could be there, even though you're like, that's going to be the target. Let's play this one instead.
But it's the reasoning. Like, if you want to play the card, that's okay. But if you're playing it because you don't want your stuff blown up, that's frustrating.
Yeah, because your shit's going to get blown up.
Your stuff's going to get blown up. It's going to go away. You either need to figure out ways to protect it or bring it back or, play around it. But I don't like the idea. And that's where, like, I go, okay, I could choose these two. I want to play this one. But I never go, this one's not going to eat removal, so I'll play this one.
Yeah. I've never done that before.
Also
but yeah.
hurts me as well. But if it fits the deck, totally works. If you're talking about just going like, well, this is a less powerful card, this isn't as good, and so I'm going to play it because nobody wants to remove it, it's kind of like, that's a frustrating mindset for me.
Yeah.
So, and I think there was another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, you had 2 points.
I don't remember.
2 points.
I don't remember. It's gone. Faber or Elder.
Okay. I had the last things I had on my list for things is when you turn on the switch, basically, like we talked about earlier about protection, having that protection for when you flip it. And that's the thing. Maybe it might take you an extra turn. You might be able to do it and not protect your thing. But if you're wanting this to go off and you have it in hand, like heroic intervention, but you need that extra mana or whatever, take that extra turn. As long as you're not looking like the threat there, take that extra turn. And then just have a plan. I mean, when shit goes down, when you flip into that, it's all three of them trying to figure out and work deals and politics come in and all that stuff. And it's all against you. So have your plan of when to do it. My biggest thing with becoming the arch enemy is I try to do it towards the end. I try not to be the one that looks the most powerful. And when I do, I take a deep breath because shit's coming. Because you just got to be ready for it. And like you just said, don't be worried. Like sometimes you just go for it and see if people have that answer, and if you end the game there, then you guys start a new game. If you don't, you lose. You started. The thing is your deck is doing what it's meant to do. If you're going off and becoming the arch enemy, your deck's doing what it's supposed to do. And that's the fun of the game. Yeah. You got your deck to work. And that's the key. I used to be so focused, and we talked about this precast. When in our early Commander days, I used to be so focused on winning. And now it's more of, I just want my deck to do its thing.
One thing that I do like to do, protection wise, that we're talking about, I like my protection cheap. Like 3 mana and under if I can get away with it.
You like to use those like goat skin condoms, right? Your protection really cheap.
I'm not from Greece. Where they were
plastic bag.
They were invented back then. No, my dick's not that big.
a little sandwich bag, a little candy bag.
Still not that big.
We're hung like field mouses, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and gentlemen.
Letty. But like I like dense foliage for that reason in green.
You can isn't that a curated MTG? You can check out that video on the link above.
So like Ghostly Prison, Propaganda, like those are all at 3. If you're going instant speed, I want to go like 1 and 2 to be able to protect 1 or a few things. Like Teferi's Protection.
Teferi's Protection. What? That's 3.
Yeah, but that protects like everything. You.
Yeah.
So like 3 is at that point. But like asceticism at 5 for green tends to be a lot, or privileged position.
But those are also permanents out, which help out a bit.
Yeah, they do. But like 5, if you have that sitting in your hand, you're talking about like, okay, I gotta play that at 5, and then I want to play my commander or my stuff I want to protect afterwards, which is like 1 to 2 turns difference than a 3 mana, right? So it's again, if you want to be more aggressive, you try and find those lower CMC angles that allow you to be aggressive quicker.
So what's happening here is blue players are going, oh, like counterspell.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Fuck you, counterspell. Number 2, I'm talking to you.
They get to do everything for cheap.
Oh,
you got that.
I'll allow it.
You got that 8 mana spell that's gonna win you the game right now. I'm gonna
counterspell.
Oh, sorry.
That would have screwed me on when I won the one game. At number 2 is the Rise of the Dark Realms. That's the only time that Rise of the Dark Realms for me has resolved, because every other time I've cast that card, counterspell. Fuck! That's a lot of goddamn mana.
Just time walked me.
Oh man, this is just terrible. All right. Okay.
Staple versus.
Well, now I got to get to it. Move all the way back over and. Now you just sound like you're doing a news thing, like extra.
Hold on.
I don't even know where it is. Okay, here we go. Not too loud.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
Very nice.
Staple versus.
All right. So we had Staple versus last week, and surprisingly, we finally hit a milestone for YouTube where we now can do community polls on YouTube. And we started our first one with Staple versus. So we had up, what do we have? Swords to Plowshares against Path to Exile. Where do you think
Swords
that
to
ended up?
Plowshare, I'm assuming crushed.
Yes, it did. Discord voted 80% to 20%.
Oh.
YouTube voted 71% to 29%.
Whoa.
Twitter voted 74% to 26%, and that grand total equaled 74% of the votes went to Swords and 26 went to Path.
Crushed.
Is that where you had it? Were you
Yikes.
thinking Swords? That's where I was starting, and then when we talked about mono ramp and stuff, I was kind of like, I could see Path fitting in there a little bit, like using it on your own stuff and all that. But most of the time, I would pick Swords in my.
Yeah, like vacuum Swords is probably just better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Path has some fun stuff that you can do with it that we brought up. Like you can stop people from searching. You can maybe have like a Zozu the Punisher to have them have land, deal them damage. You can ramp yourself. I feel like Path to Exile is probably a more fun card, but Swords is just
Better.
The life gain is negligible.
Yeah, Session Commander.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we have for this week? What are our 2 Staple versus?
Lightning Greaves versus Swiftfoot Boots.
All right.
Are we gonna do that different angle?
All right, we
Are
can.
we doing? Let's
So,
do it.
well,
Okay.
because it's not going to always be this way, but in this one, in
It
this
won't.
case, we are on a different side. I think
Strongly.
I will probably be on the losing side, but maybe people will prove me wrong. But preference wise, this is the one that when I'm building a deck, and a lot of times this has happened, I only really want one of the equipments. I always choose this one. And in this case, for me, it is Lightning Greaves. So Lightning Greaves, what it is, it's 2 colorless equipment. Equipped creature has haste, shroud, equip 0. And then Swiftfoot Boots, which would be your choice.
2 colorless, 1 to equip, and it gives haste and hexproof. So very similar, but
Everything's pretty similar to this. The
hexproof versus shroud
Right.
and equip cost 1 versus 0. Those are your big things right there, right?
So again, hang on a second. I am drinking a Elysian, the Great Pumpkin Imperial Pumpkin Ale. Boop. Now I can actually show it on camera, unlike
That's
my first
out
beer.
of Nebraska.
Is it?
Omaha. Or
Very
Lincoln.
nice.
I like Elysian.
It says Seattle, Washington.
What?
What
am I thinking of? It doesn't matter.
Cameras don't matter. All right.
You didn't even have it. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's what we're going to probably debate. I mean, we both the haste is really nice, right? Either one of them.
Right. The debate is the zero cost compared to being able to target your own creatures. So the hindrance that comes in with Lightning Greaves is if you only have your one creature out and you play Lightning Greaves, you attach it right away. Now, if you want to put anything on that creature or target your creature, you cannot do it to your own creature unless you have a second creature out. Then you can move it around for free. Where Swift Boots is nice is you attach it to your creature for 1, which is very cheap, but it's still 1. You can still target your creature, so you can still put more things on it. You can add auras, you can add in other equipment. You can target it, like if somebody's trying to do
give it indestructible.
Yeah, I was gonna say board wipe and all that stuff. So you can actually
growth it. Who the fuck wants to board wipe? No, no, I'm just kidding.
Everybody wants to board wipe. We just talked about it. But
and
again,
that's what I don't like about Greaves is like moving it makes sense. Like, yeah, that's an easy pass off, but you're opening up your creature to that removal. It has to be instant speed and somebody has to have it in hand, but you're still opening it up versus like Hexproof. You just you stack it on there and you're fine.
So I guess the other part of it is there's some combo stuff that you can do with Greaves, not necessarily combo, but the cards that allow you to move your equipment at instant speed. Lightning Greaves becomes a protection for all your creatures at that point for any spot removal, because then you're not having to pay 1 to move it. Pay 1 and move it. You run out of mana.
Shikari?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, something like that. So it's one of the white cards, but this allows you to move. I think there's 2 cards at this point now that allow you to do it. Wasn't there a recent one that was printed? I don't know. I don't want to dig into that right now, but that is an option there. But the other part of it is it's a play style thing here too, as we kind of precast talked about how we were changing this up a bit. Mm-hmm. I typically don't stack things on my creature unless it's a Voltron type deck. And so Lightning Greaves becomes my only hey, I'm giving this creature haste and protection, attacking with it. Now I'm moving this over to my most important creature after my attack phase, and now it's protected. Whereas you, on the other hand, will add things to your creature or target your own creatures typically, right? Is that what?
Yeah. I think that's the big thing for me is that Shroud really kind of turns me off. I don't play a lot of stuff with Shroud for those reasons. And like you're saying, the 1 mana is 1 mana, but it's negligible for me. Generally, I'm willing to wait that 1 turn because of the haste. If it didn't have haste, that's not good enough. But having haste versus playing it out and not having it, that's fine, right? But versus a Lightning Greaves, I do totally get what you're saying about just being able to just switch it over, because I don't know how much you really utilize the haste really nicely on the Lightning Greaves.
Yeah, and that's typically what I use the Greaves for and why I have it. But yeah, and a little bit of the protection on one of the creatures. But you pointed out too, is that I do leave it open because I'll go, all right, I just played this creature. The one I'm protecting, I like it. But what I want to do is get that creature to attack. So I move it over there, attack with that one creature that's played, then I move it back. But that time it leaves open. It would also leave it open if it was the Swiftfoot Boots too, though. But then I'm losing 2 mana to move it.
If you're using it for haste, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think I find that it's kind of funny that we're talking about
2 different things that are...
Well, I was talking about how aggressive I like to be.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but I
No,
don't
I'd like to sit
like
back.
Lightning Greaves and giving my shit haste.
Yeah,
for free.
I'd like to sit back a turn where I'm like, I want to get it out and go.
It's an interesting. I'm sure a psychologist would really enjoy this episode. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Who are they?
This is my play style during this conversation, but during the other conversation, this is my play style.
Yeah, we have split personalities.
I think what you're saying, I think though also the other part of it is kind of would clear things up a little bit, is a lot of my stuff is like tap abilities, not necessarily doing the attacking. There's a trigger that happens.
Like in Daryl, where you want to be able to tap and deal the 2 damage to whatever.
Yeah. So that's more of the key of that. I do like to sit back more and not be the aggressor, but I want my creature to be able to do its thing. So like in Magda, I want Magda to come out and be able to give me a treasure token immediately, if I don't have my other enablers in there.
And like I would say like
almost every
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say most of my decks have something where I want my commander when it comes out to do its thing that turn and not have to wait a turn.
And so like with the tapping ability, I would say like with my Oscar deck, that like the recombiner, it has that ability to tap on it, but it does kind of take some mana sometimes anyway. And so you need to set it up a little bit more. But also like I have untappers in there that target. And if
you can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if I had Lightning Greaves on it, it wouldn't work. And so that gets frustrating when I'm trying to target whatever Greaves is on, and I understand that you can maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you're just like, okay, Lightning Greaves, do the ability, move it over, untap, move it back. Like, so maybe that's something that I should think about more. But it's just easier to be like, one Swiftfoot, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this will be an interesting one because I see both sides. It's just I have in the past with a lot of my decks only chosen Lightning Greaves. A lot of times I'll try to put both of them in.
Yeah,
but when I only want the one choice,
that's not the point of this segment.
Right. But there is a lot of times I have come across the scenario. It's Lightning Greaves because of that zero. That zero equip cost is big for me, but that is also because I'm not targeting my creatures a lot of times unless it's a deck that's made to do that. So a lot of times it's that creature, I get it out, it's doing its thing. If it is something that I'm equipping and putting equipment on it, then it's that whole move it over to the other creature, equip whatever, then move it back onto that. I've done that so many times. So that's why in my head I'm like, Lightning Greaves is the winner, but I can see with Swift being able, if you're always attaching things to your stuff, that could get annoying if you're not playing a crap ton of creatures. If you're not always having 2 creatures out, that can get tough. So there's that.
So what do you want to vote for out there in podcast land?
Me or Lowry? No, I'm just kidding. That's the true thing. If you vote for Lowry, that means you hate me. And if you vote for me, it means you hate Lowry. No, I'm just kidding.
Very aggressive.
I'm like 5 beers deep at this point. We're supposed to start another.
I don't want to see this. I don't want to see these results. I don't want to see how many people hate me because I'm sure people will flip votes. Like I would vote for Swiftfoot, but a vote for Adam also says that I hate Lowry. I'm switching. That can definitely happen.
Or the other way around. They're like, I normally would vote for Greaves, but Lowry looks sexy in that robe, so I am definitely voting for Swiftfoot boots. And Adam's a douchebag. That's just that added
true.
Last part.
That's not true.
All right. So yeah, go on Twitter, go on the Discord if you're a part of the Discord, vote there. And also YouTube. If you have already subscribed to our page, you can go to the community page and the voting will be there. I'll announce the winners, not next week, but the week after because we're taking a break because Lowry is moving. Woo! So, all right. Well, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Talk to you. See you later.
No, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Sega.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas.
It's so easy.
I'm pretty sure
boobs.
Vaporware
I'm bunkers
Elders
for
broke
honkers.
me.
I
Yeah.
love boobs. Thanks for the
Broke my brain.
memories. I love
Oh,
boobs.
pumpkin